So here we are, episode 2 of Lakefront Hangover. Did you watch the show last night?
Absolutely, I watched the show last night.
I missed the first 10 minutes of it.
Oh,
Did I say anything stupid?
no, I don't think so. We had a small role in this episode last night.
Yeah,
So,
we did.
mhm.
So let's jump right into it. Peggy,
Yep.
she had clients that she was working with that they had a budget of $250,000.
Up to 250.
Up to 250. How difficult is that at the Lake of the Ozarks?
That is a really difficult, really challenging market to try and find somebody, something that they would like. Especially when, like the husband, he was so, really wanted to be on the water or close to the water because he obviously likes to fish and wants to be able to have the convenience of doing that.
Yep.
But to find a home that's on the water or right there next to it to give you easy access under 250,000, it's almost non-existent.
Well, what was the average sales price of a lakefront home last year?
Well, in 2023, in the Lake of the Ozarks MLS, the average sale price was just over $728,000.
728,000. That is a lot of
Yeah.
money. Well, just for us, it's a lot of money.
Oh, it's a lot of money for most people. So
So coming in with a $250,000 budget, we saw Peggy get really creative. She was actually able to get them a yacht. What do you think about that?
that's definitely Peggy thinking outside the box. To as a real estate agent, to turn them onto the idea of buying a boat, it's unusual. It's creative. I'm not sure it's one that I would have done. A lot of people might say a boat's a depreciating asset, but still, you can find a really nice boat for under their budget, 250, and pay an annual fee to keep it in a marina somewhere, and it can put you right on the water. I think that's an intriguing idea.
It is, and there's actually I know of at least one marina down here where you can actually just like buy a boat slip, and it's like an HOA where you just pay annual dues.
Yeah.
And you just keep the boat there and go down and stay on it.
Yeah. I mean, my first house I owned here in Osage Beach, there was a marina down the road. That's what they did. You could buy or lease a boat slip. They had a little clubhouse. They had a community pool, and electricity was provided to your boat and everything. And a lot of people, that's what they did. They kept a boat there year round, and they would come down on the weekends and holidays and just stay on the boat.
Yeah. I mean, some people may say, like you said, it's a depreciating asset, but at the same time, they're not the ones buying it. So why do you care? Those clients that bought it, they seem to be really ecstatic about it.
Sure. And I think boats are definitely one of those things that holds their value a lot better if you maintain it and take care of it.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, we've had clients over the years. I can think of one absolutely that I've done several deals with that my first time I met them, they had a boat that they kept in that marina. And they had done that for a few years, got tired of it, and was ready to have a place on the water, and went out and sold them a lakefront home. But they made that natural transition. They started with the boat at the lake, and then eventually got tired of that and transitioned to a property on the land.
Okay. So obviously, sales price, lakefront home, over $700,000 average last year. What about condos? What do you think?
Condo is definitely something I would have, if I'd been in Peggy's shoes, would have kind of maybe tried to encourage them to consider.
Now, there are a lot of people out there, and it's easy for us to sit here and say this when we weren't in Peggy's shoes, but Monday morning quarterbacking.
Yeah.
They may have said, hey, we don't want to deal with a condo.
Very true. She may have had that conversation. You're absolutely right. And they just said, we don't want to deal with it because a lot of people don't like the lack of privacy with condos or the HOA fees that have to be paid, and you have very little control over that if it goes up or not. But if you think about it, last year in Lake of the Ozarks MLS, 2023, the average price of a condo with a boat slip was about $337,000.
330. So that didn't even hit their price range.
No, it's still above their price range, but I do believe, there are condos in that price range that they could have considered, such as there's over 130 condos sold last year under 250 with a boat slip.
130 condos that sold under 250 and a boat slip.
Yes.
That seems pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think probably likely a lot of them were second-tier condos, or more likely a 2 or a 1-bedroom condo. But in that price range, 250 or below, gets you really close or on the water with a boat slip.
So anybody that's out there saying, oh, there's no way that can be done, the proof's in the pudding, and we just proved it to you pulling the MLS data. 130 condos under $250,000. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
So what did you think about Sierra and her clients?
You know, I got to be honest with you. I forgot that I had said on camera that when I first met her, I thought she was a spoiled rich kid. And so obviously when that aired, I went, ah!
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, first impression, let's be honest. My first impression of Sierra, I actually was hired to DJ her 18th birthday. And her parents, I mean, her parents were big players in the real estate game back then.
Yeah, yeah, they were very successful.
They have since exited, which puts her, which I identified on the show, you know, that does make her a legacy like us.
Puts a lot of pressure on her.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know, a lot of people don't think this, you know, as a legacy, everybody always looks at us and says, well, their parents gave them the business.
Sure.
Their parents just handed it to them.
Sure, for the lot.
But they don't understand how hard it is because we don't have room for error. Because if we don't make it, then everybody looks at us like we were handed the golden goose and screwed it all up.
Yeah, and if you think about it, again, as a legacy realtor, you know, there's no salary. It's not like you're given a job with a salary and it's just easily made. It's you still have to go out and find clients and sell property.
Yeah.
And if you don't sell, you don't get paid.
You're right.
And there is a level of expectation on you as a legacy realtor in the business that, you know, if you can't succeed, how did you go bad? You already had, you know, family had a successful business.
That's right. I remember when I started during the Great Recession, Mom and Dad, they just said, sit there and start making calls. They didn't give me any leads, you know? And a matter of fact, I didn't even get floor duty when I started. And Sierra, she had it worse than that when she got started because she had the name, but her parents were no longer actively selling.
Yep.
You know, so she had to basically rebuild everything from scratch. So that was a lot harder than you and I had it.
Yeah, there were some advantages probably that she could reach out to some of her parents' old clients, but still it wasn't like an active business that she could just step into and start working in. You know, she did have to kind of start to rebuild that thing. So
let's talk about her clients. Is it just me, or did they seem like they weren't willing to do any work at all? I mean, the beam thing, it was like, you know, come on, guys, we can repaint the beams.
Sure. You know, yeah, and there are a lot of clients that we have like that in all price ranges that say, hey, I don't want to have to deal with updates or repairs. I don't want to have to worry about trying to coordinate contractors to come out and paint or replace flooring or stuff like that.
Is that something we truly deal with a lot?
Sure, we have plenty of clients.
Yes, it's something we deal with all the time.
And we have lots of great contractors here that we can turn them on to, but a lot of people, when it's their second home, they're only here on the weekends, they don't want to have to buy it and immediately turn around and have to put sweat equity into it to try and get it fixed and coordinate all that stuff.
Yeah, they don't. I'm willing to wait. I have the money. So I don't want to have to, you know, settle. I want exactly what I want. And when you have that, you know, it's kind of like the golden rule, you know, he who has the gold makes the rule.
Sure.
So, you know, when you have the money and I mean, anybody that's been through a remodel, you know, it doesn't matter how great your contractor is, you still have people in your house the whole time. It's dirty. It's a mess.
Disrupting your routine and everything.
Yeah, so it's a tough thing living in a remodel.
Absolutely.
So, and then as a secondary home, a lot of people don't know that. Like you and I, we have to go out and actually oversee the general contractor for our clients because they can't be here.
Sometimes that's what you do. You know, you really appreciate their business. You want to be there for them. And as a realtor in a resort market with second home clients, they do lean on you as a realtor to be their guide, put them in touch with contractors. Hey, can you run out there and open the door, let them in? Or can you go check the work, make sure that it's being done well? So,
I thought she did a very good job of, you know, working with her clients and everything, trying to find them the right thing. It doesn't look like they bought a house, though.
Not sure. It didn't seem, I agree, at least in that episode, it didn't show that they'd bought anything. Maybe they'll be in another episode looking at some more stuff. But and that happens often. You know, you get a look at what's out there, you test it, and maybe you just decide you can't find what you're looking for. You know, I was good to see Sierra present options to them. They are very committed to what they want. You know, I often tell people I've never sold anybody something where they didn't have to make some sort of compromise. You know, no one ever finds the absolutely perfect. It's everything I want in my price range. There's always some sort of compromise that has to be made.
Yeah.
As the key as a realtor is to find that, help guide them to that. What do you have to have, and what can you maybe be flexible on?
Yeah. Always have to compromise in the real estate business.
Absolutely.
Unless you're building. If you're building, but then what do they say about building? It's going to be twice as much as you expected, and it's going to take twice as long.
Absolutely. And there still will be compromises based on what you wanted to build and what property you bought and will actually fit there.
True. Yeah, topography has a lot to do with that, the lake.
Absolutely. We saw it again last night in the episode where, Peggy was having to measure the water depth underneath the dock for her clients.
That's right.
That's going to be a recurring theme all the time with lakefront properties. How deep is the water? And oftentimes, if you're on a tighter budget, you may have to accept dealing with a property that's going to have less than desirable water depth in the off season.
Now, is that truly detrimental to not have deep water year round?
Depends on what kind of boat you have. What your intended use is. When you find a lot of homes out there with 3 or 4 feet of water depth during the summertime, that's not exactly desirable for a lot of kids running and jumping and diving into the water.
True.
And if you like to have a bigger, heavier boat, you're not going to be able to get it in there. And as well, you got to really watch the lake and when it starts coming down, because you're going to want to pull your boat out of that slip and put it in storage somewhere so it doesn't potentially damage the boat.
Yeah. Well, we all know how cheap I am. But I do have a community slip in my neighborhood, and currently where it's at right now, there's no way to get my boat out. Matter of fact, the front of the dock is sitting on dry ground. So to someone like me, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, I know I'm not going to be able to get the boat out till May, till Ameren brings the lake level back up, but I'm cool with that because I actually have a boat now and I can use it during the summer months.
And if you're willing to accept that, it's fine. Absolutely. And there's a lot of people that are willing to deal with that because a lot of people don't want to get on the lake until mid to late May when it starts to warm up and the lake rises up.
That's right. So, but if you are spending $700,000 plus on a lakefront home and we have a really nice March day, you probably want to get your boat out.
Well, we had 80 degrees back in February.
That's true.
There are plenty of people, especially with these outboard engines now, these performance boats that will take an opportunity in February when it's 50 plus degrees to go out boating.
There you go.
But that's where, as a realtor, you've got to really know your clients.
Yeah.
Know if that's important to them, that you're constantly checking water depth underneath these docks to make sure that they understand, is this one that you may potentially have trouble getting your boat out in the wintertime?
Yeah. Got to know it. What are we missing? Is there anything we didn't recap?
I think we touched on all of it. I think we did a good job here.
All right. We appreciate you guys watching episode 2 of Lakefront Empire and Lakefront Hangover. Don't forget, next episode is next Monday.
Monday, 9 p.m. Central on HGTV and HBO Max.
HBO Max. Other than that, guys, we appreciate your time. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, or you just want to ridicule and heckle us, he could take it. I can't. Please be kind. I'm a very emotional person. Other than that, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Go Chiefs.